What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Punk Rock Radar. Today is part number 6 of the Best Fat Records album bracket. If it's your first time here, we've randomly generated 2 brackets, so 16 total albums are going to be discussed today, and they're going head-to-head. And the way you move on to the next round is by having 2 of the 3 of us vote for you, and we have our Discord who voted beforehand to use as a tiebreaker if one of us is on the fence. And I'm joined by Hudson Valley hardcore legend Mr. Lewis and Dylan, aka Screeching Bottle Rocket from DyingScene.com. And let's get into this, guys. Everybody knows who you are at this point. This is our episode number 6. Let's try and get this episode in the 15-20 minute mark, and I think we've got a pretty good matchup in terms of bands. Up first, we've got the Lawrence Arms, Apathy and Exhaustion going against Lagwagon's Railer. Lewis, I'll give this one to you first. I know you like one of these albums quite a bit, so why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, I mean, so it's no question here. I love Lagwagon. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a Railer fan. This album isn't very good. And Apathy and Exhaustion is a top tier. Lagwagon's is a Lawrence Arms record. I mean, it's a fantastic one. I think it's their debut on Fat. I pretty much love every track on this album. For me, it's going to be a big advance for Apathy and Exhaustion. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Where are you going, Dylan?
The best Lawrence Arms album versus the worst Lagwagon album. This is an easy win for Lagwagon. No, I'm just kidding. This is a fantastic Lawrence Arms album. No bad songs. It's my favorite.
I can't remember if I said it was my favorite. It's either number 1 or number 2. Lawrence Arms against the worst Lagwagon album. I know people like it, but it's their worst album. It's boring. The vocals are bad, so it's gone. We don't have to talk about it ever again. It's out of the bracket unless the Discord saves it, which would be the tremendous waste of a save. But we'll move on here. We've got Pairs and Direct Hit Split Human Movement going against our pal, The Caper, and his solo album, Bridge. I feel like this may have been on a different label first, but it is on the list. If we're wrong, just let us know. I don't think it's going to matter because my vote is for the Pairs and Direct Hit Split here. Dylan, where are you going?
Yeah, these are 2 I haven't done a ton of homework on. What I have heard from the Split, I like more, though. I like other Joey Cape solo albums more than this one. So I'm going to do some metagaming here, and we're going to move the Split forward.
All right. Lewis, any issues with that?
No, I agree. I think this is Joey Cape's first. Is this his first acoustic one?
I'm not sure.
Whatever.
It's possible. There's a...
The Split's better.
Yeah. The Split's better. I like Pairs and Direct Hit. And I don't really like Joey Cape solo stuff, so it's an easy one.
Let's go.
Up next, another Lagwagon. We got Trashed, which I feel like, is a much better album than Railer. I don't know if that even needs to be said. Going against Goober Patrol, who put up a fight in the last episode. We got their other album, The Unbearable Lightness of Being Drunk. Guys, are we all on Trashed here? I think this Goober album is pretty good, but I mean, Trashed is one of the Fat Wreck Classics legacy album here. Are we all on the same page?
Yeah.
Lagwagon is gonna bat 333 for me here. They finally get a W.
Yeah. Know It All, Island of Shame. I think, Dylan, you had like 2 on your top 5 Lagwagon songs from this album, so yeah, it's gonna move on. Now, this is where it's gonna get interesting here. I've been banging the drum for bracket. This may be my favorite bracket album, but we've got Screeching Bottle Rocket here. Television City. I don't know if it's Dreams. I think I made a typo there, but forgive me. So, Dylan, where are you going here? Because I feel like Lewis is going to be the deciding vote, most likely.
Well, Ergoth made that meme with the Lewis flips a coin, John does whatever, Dylan picks the Screeching Weasel album. It's true. I'm gonna fulfill the stereotype here. We're going with Screeching Weasel, especially if it's the deluxe reissue of this album, which the cover art matches that. So, yeah, I never really got into Bracket, honestly. This is not one of my favorite Weasel albums. It's good enough, though. So Screeching Weasel moves on, and the album title is correct.
Oh, it is Dreams? I always thought it was Television City
I think
Dream.
it's Dream.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's Dream.
It's singular, not plural.
Okay, I thought so. I typed this up late last night, so there's probably more than one error. So forgive me.
Unacceptable.
All right, Lewis, you are the deciding vote here. I feel like you're kind of neutral on these bands, so
I hadn't listened to this Screeching Weasel record before. I had heard the Bracket record. And no offense against Bracket, like they're pretty good, but they were always kind of seen as like a secondary band on Fat by me. I guess like, that probably seems accurate though. I think I don't think I've ever seen them tour out here. Maybe we just didn't see them, but I think I'm gonna go with the Bracket record. I enjoyed it more on this. Yeah.
Dang, I was thinking you were gonna go Weasel. Yeah, this Bracket album is really good. I mentioned in the last episode. Everyone is telling me You'll Never Win If You Fall in Love with a Girl from Marin is like one of the best Bracket songs. If you don't, I'll play that clip. You know, I can only play like 4 or 5 seconds, whatever Fat allows YouTube to play. I'll play, but if you haven't listened to this album, go check it out for sure, because it is beating Screeching Weasel in a big upset. All right, so now let's get this down to 2. Up first, this is a damn good matchup, maybe the best matchup so far. Lawrence Arms, Apathy and Exhaustion against Lagwagon Trashed. So Lewis, I'll give it to you first. While you let us know, I'm gonna check and see what the Discord did.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they did too. I mean, so I love Trashed. I do love Lagwagon. I think if this was a little bit later in the discography, it'd be a much harder decision for me. Like, you know how I feel about him and like, and Blaze and all those albums. I love them. I think that would be a better matchup. I think in the scope of like their discography, obviously it's a classic. I don't think it's as good. I don't think it's as good as the Lawrence Arms. So my vote's going for the Lawrence Arms Apathy and Exhaustion.
All right, Dylan.
Yes, I agree with the sentiment. The Lawrence Arms are gonna move on here. Yeah, this is probably like a top 3 Lagwagon album, but this is the number 1 Lawrence Arms album. I would like to reiterate that point. 3 a.m. QVC Shopping Spree, Porno and Snuff Films, Your Gravest Words. Great album.
Yeah, this album.
Right.
Rats, yeah.
For the record, I was going Trashed, and the Discord was 8-2 in favor of Trashed. So, interesting. All right, and our second of 4 next round semifinalists, quarterfinalists, whatever it's going to be, is Pairs and Direct Hit going against Bracket When All Else Fails. You know where I'm going, guys. Is either of you going to vote for Bracket, or are you both going Pairs and Direct Hit?
I'll go Bracket. I like it more than this split.
Yeah, make it a full sweep. I would have picked Bracket as well, so it wouldn't matter, but
shout out Alex.
Get it on the record.
All right, so from this side of the bracket, we get Bracket and the Lawrence Arms, Apathy and Exhaustion moving on. But stay tuned. We're going to do a brief intermission here and get the next 8 albums loaded. All right, next part of the bracket is loaded here. We've got a couple of bigger ones, some smaller albums, some that I haven't listened to in quite a while, including this first one here, the St. Catharines and Dancing for Decadence. We've got an original CD down there, a relic. And we've got this Swingin' Utters self-titled record. Dylan, since you own the CD, I'm assuming you're gonna have more to say about the St. Catharines than likely Lewis and I do. So let's hear it.
I actually don't like this album that much, to be honest with you. I listened to it when it came out a long time ago and gave some consideration to selling the CD to like FYE when they still existed, but I kept it. Yeah, I mean, like, what? There's one song. It's like something about the dying bungee scene. Yeah, I don't know. This is a weird album, man. Very weird album. The Swingin' Utters album, on the other hand, I do like this album quite a bit. So we'll go with the Swingin' Utters.
All right, one vote for the Utters. Okay, so little transparency here. When we rolled this bracket, I feel like the first thing I did, this was actually supposed to be first, but for another day, I texted them and I was like, man, this St. Catharines album is really good. I remember, of course, like I heard it when it came out. We were listening to literally everything Fat put out, but it didn't resonate for me at the time. And now, like, I was hearing a lot of Good Riddance, some Strike Anywhere in there, and I was kind of feeling it, you know. And I'm gonna metagame a bit here. I think we have two Swingin' Utter albums that have already moved on, so just for the sake of mixing it up, I will cast my vote here for the St. Catharines, and we'll leave it up to Lewis to see which is gonna go.
I mean, I gave the St. Catharines another listen after you said you really enjoyed it that much, and I can't say I really had the same response. So we are gonna not metagame, and we're gonna just let the Swinging Utter self-titled go because it's a better record. So sorry.
The anti-metagaming defense force.
It's not my favorite Swinging Utters record, but it's good. You know,
Pills and
so
Smoke.
I can't. Yeah, it's a good album, but I like, you know, 5 Lessons is my favorite, I think. But I like, this one's fine. So, yeah, I think it's got to go ahead of it. I'm not afraid
to All right.
Sorry.
No, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I mean, how much attachment could I have over like 5 days? And the Swingin' Utters album is decent. This is going to be really Utters heavy in the next round.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Number 2. Got a very recent album, Cigar's The Visitor, which came out last year, I believe. And we've got Joey Cape and Tony Sly acoustic. This is probably the best acoustic album that in the bracket. But I mean, I'm not going to go against the Cigar album, which was killer. I think it was on both Dylan and my top list last year. So the vote is going for Cigar for me. Lewis, I don't think we've ever discussed Cigar at any point or this acoustic album. So what do you think?
And I had not heard this Cigar record, honestly. So I probably missed it in your guys' wrap up or whatever. But yeah, this album rocks. So I really liked it a lot. So that one is going to get my vote as well. No disrespect to the other matchup here.
All right, Dylan, what do you have to add? I know you love this record.
It's a clean sweep for Cigar. Badass album. Like comeback album of the year last year for sure. I just noticed Speed is Relative isn't on Spotify, so that's weird. But yeah, great album. No bad songs. The music videos are really fun. I think they just released another one, so hopefully it's not another 20 years before the third Cigar album.
All right, moving along, we've got Bad Cop, their second album we've had on here. I feel like they fared fairly well last time. And they're going against Frenzel Rom, Shut Your Mouth. I think this is the joint release with Sony. I could be wrong on that, but I remember that both Dylan and I in the Frenzel tier list, actually, I don't remember. I know that I don't really care for this one too much. I think it's one of my least favorite Frenzel records. And the Bad Cop Warriors. So I said it in the last video. I don't know if I ever listened to Bad Cop aside from like a single on my released radar or whatever. This one hits pretty hard, Warriors. I was digging it. But I'll pass it to the guys first. I'll pass it to the biggest Frenzel fan I know, which is Dylan. And I know you're a big Bad Cop fan too. So which of these heavy hitters are you gonna go with?
Well, one's a bad album, relatively speaking, and one's like just like a boring album. We'll go with the bad album because it has enough songs that I like on it. Had Enough, Coming Home, Dancecution. War is a shitty song, but it's an okay-ish, borderline okay-ish album. The Bad Cop album, the album art kind of reminds me of like an old school like RPG or something, so that's kind of cool.
And Lewis, what about you? I'll tell you, the Discord loves this album.
I kind of went back and forth on this one a bit, but I think I'm gonna have to go girl power, guys, and we're gonna go with Warriors. It's my pick. So John, it may come down to you here.
I mean, if we're talking bands, I like Frenzel infinite more than Bad Cop, Bad Cop. I'm going to factor in two things here. Factoring thing number one, 60% of our Discord had this not only winning here, but moving on all the way, 60%. And also factoring in that I think this is a D tier Frenzel album. Gun to my head, though. You know what, man? I am going to anti-metagame here. I like the Frenzel album personally better. So I'm going to take everything else out of it. And I'm anti-metagaming. So Urgot's going to have to redo his meme. And Frenzel's going to move on. I'll catch the next train when it comes. Now I'm coming home. All right. Now here we go. This is where things could potentially get interesting. Maybe not. I mean, we've got No Use's final album, the Feel Good Record of the Year, an album that I really came around to when we did the tier list. I always kind of thought it was a step down. I liked it better than Keep Them Confused, but I didn't really feel like it was on par with the other stuff. Going against the Warren Erism, which is another one of the class of 2003, Lewis and I's high school year. So a lot goes along with this. I feel like older NoFX fans, meaning fans from the early 90s, don't really care for this album the way like people in our generation do. But for me, it's like an all-time favorite record. So I'm casting my vote early here for the Warren Erism. And we know that Lewis is not a huge No Use fan. So I'm pretty sure that NoFX is going to move on here. But Lewis, what do you have to say about either of these two records?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with your whole sentiment there. I mean, it's become a meme that I don't like No Use at all. But this matchup, I mean, come on. I mean, Warren Erism, I've been rocking against Bush since 2003, buddy, and it's still going. So I'm going Warren Erism is my pick. I still love this record. Can't not pick it.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dylan, where would you have gone? Since this is an interesting matchup, I'm curious where you're going.
NoFX. It's a very good album. I can't think of a bad song on here, to be honest with you. So, yeah, just a fantastic album. A lot of variety. There's like the reggae kind of songs. There's heavier songs like Irrationality. Really great bass playing on the album. So NoFX for sure.
That's true. Yeah. This is probably Fat Mike's best
performance.
Yes. I think vocal wise and musically.
I knew you were for me when I saw that first band LTV. I found SNFU and cool. I own that record too.
So yeah, all right. So now we've got, in my opinion, we've got two mediocre albums from the band's catalog. Swinging Out her self-titled, going against Frenzel Rom's Shut Your Mouth. Lewis, I'll pass this one to you first. What do you think?
I mean, this is like, I don't know. This is not a fun one to
No.
pick because it's neither one really stands out from the rest. I know you guys love Frenzel. I mean, they're good. I like some of their stuff. I mean, I'm just more of a Swinging Utters listener, so I will unenthusiastically give the self-titled Swinging Utters album the nod here. So I'll let you guys figure out the rest.
All right, Dylan.
Probably Frenzel. If I had to pick, well, I do have to pick. So we'll go with Frenzel, and we get John to pick here. And while John contemplates this, fun fact, he mentioned the co-release thing. Frenzel Rom is one of those smart bands that owns all the rights to their own music, and they license it to different labels around the world. So that's why in Australia, their music is released by Sony or Epic or Virgin Media. And in the States, it's released by Fat.
Smart.
They're
guys.
like a huge band, though, in Australia, right? Like, they're quite popular mainstream as well. Is that correct?
They were like... Lindsay and Jason had like a radio show and shit. So yeah, I'd say they're pretty popular.
Oh, cool.
All right.
I've never been to Australia, though. I can't say.
So the Discord is split here. It was 50-50. God. I'm going Frenzel. I'm going Frenzel. I think Frenzel's I like them overall better. These albums are by no means my favorite by either band. So I'm picking the band I like better. Shut Your Mouth is moving on, which I don't think a lot of people would have seen. Now we've got Cigar the Visitor, one of the best albums Fat's released in the last 10 years, going against No Effects to Warrenerism, one of the best albums Fat has ever released. I'm going Warrenerism just based on longevity, memories. Visitor gives it a run for its money, but not quite there. Dylan, what do you think? Oh.
I'm gonna do some metagaming here myself. Wasn't this the first No Effects album on Fat?
The first full length, yeah.
Yeah, Valium was the last on Epitaph. So I think this was like kind of the breakthrough album for Fat as a whole, almost. Like this was their first like landmark No Effects album. So I'm gonna do some metagaming here. We're going No Effects. I like the album more than The Visitor though. Anyway, so regardless, it would have been picked.
Lewis, anything to add about? I mean, that's the opposite of what I thought metagaming was. But Lewis, anything else to say?
The definition is ever evolving.
The only thing I'll say is I think Cigar got a bad deal being stuck in this bracket. I think if they were in the top one, they would have easily been the one that had passed that for. But I'm going to pick 3. Clean sweep for Warrenerism. It's a classic record. One of my favorites on Fat for sure. And I think it's going to go pretty far overall. So let's see what happens.
All right. So winners of today. Visitor.
Hey, John.
Oh, wait. I screwed up. It's not The Visitor.
Yeah, you put Cigar up there.
This is This is the way it should be, but it isn't. It is Swinging. No, we're leaving it. It is Swinging Utters. Like that was subconscious computer metagaming happening. It is the Swinging Utters self-titled in that black box. It is the Warrenerism by No Effects, and God, Apathy and Exhaustion, and it's been 10 minutes and I forgot what the other band was. Do you guys remember? Nobody.
Oh my God.
What was
The Swinging Utters.
No. I don't know.
Wait, go back to the list. I'll know in a second. If you show me the list, I'll remember. It's throwing me off here.
Real professional happening here. Hold on. We're rolling through all this. Where is that other bracket? Is it still here? Nope. It's not that one. It was...
There it is.
Oh, it's bracket. It is bracket. Okay. Winners for today. No Effects Warrenerism. Frenzel Rom, Shut Your Mouth. Lawrence Arms, Apathy and Exhaustion. and bracket when all else fails. The screen is blank because I completely botched the winners the first time through. We went on for like 5 minutes trying to figure out what it was and still got it wrong. So all the current winners are going to be on the screen now for you guys to see. And guys, what do you think? Should we figure out the next bracket, or do you want to just cut here and leave it in mystery?
Let's do it.
No, let's do the bracket. Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, and for anyone who watched this far, if you can count the number of times the term metagaming was used in this video, I'll send you my copy of St. Catherine's Dancing for Decadence on CD, probably worth like $1 Canadian if you live in the US. So comment down below if you're right. I have no clue, to be honest, how many times it was said, but I'll take your word for it. So whichever number sounds the most correct.
And they get a pin comment.
What a guy. What a guy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see who these matchups are. And Lewis, if you want to do the honors here.
All right, guys, here comes our matchups. Round one, we got the Decomposers, Shabbat Religion versus Discord favorite, Tilt viewers like you. Guys, I have a feeling that Tilt's going to probably go forward, but we don't know yet. Number two, we got Good Riddance, A Comprehensive Guide to Modern Rebellion, Dylan's favorite Good Riddance record, if I remember, versus Smoker Fire, the Speakeasy. Oh, number three, we got a classic, Good Riddance, Operation Phoenix versus Cokie the Clown. You're welcome. Well, boo to you, Fat Mike. We got number four, we got Get Dead with Bad News versus None More Black, File Under Black. We got number five, we got Fat Mike Get Strung Out versus Sundowner, Neon Fiction. Scroll down a little bit more if you don't mind. And then number six, we got Tony Sly, Sad Bear versus Tilt, coming back in strong again with Collecting Them All. All right, we got a big one for the fellas here. We got Frenzo Ram Sansusi versus the Flatliners, New Ruin, poking up again. And then number eight, we got the Guru Patrol, the number that was already done today. We did that one, I think.
Oh, God.
We'll sub it out. We'll sub it. Put something else here.
Oh,
we're not redoing all of that.
okay. So let's just see what number 9 is and do number 9, because the number 9 is ridiculously good. All right, so we're gonna.
Okay, let's do it.
There you go. Wait, there you go.
All right. Well, yeah, we're gonna come back to 8 because we have a little error there because we already looked at Guru Patrol, but we're going with number 9. Frenzo Ram, The Cup of Pestilence versus the Suicide Machine, Revolution Spring, the album that got me through a pandemic. See how.
That's a great one.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess little preview there, we got the Lawrence Arms also coming up on the backside of that matchup.
Do we okay.
Good stuff coming up.
Let's if I left another one in, it'll get redone. But like starting at 10, let's figure out the next bracket too. Just as a bonus for anybody who's stuck around this 20 plus minutes. Because I could see some more good ones coming.
All right, do it. So go down to 10 here.
So it's going to be 10 through 17 we'll do.
Okay, well, 10, we got Lawrence Arms, The Greatest Story Ever Told. Another great album versus The Great Awake. This is a pretty good matchup. Yeah. So this is going to be fun. Swinging Others, Fistful of Hollow versus Avail, One Wrench. Avail coming in. We got Teenage Bottle Rocket. Teenage Bottle Rockets, Stealing the Covers, versus Leftover Crack and Citizen Fish, Deadline Split. That's a big bucket of yuck, both of those. We got 13, we got the Me First, Himmies Are the Drag versus No Effects, Wolves and Wolves Clothing. That's Fat Mike versus Fat Mike, the way it should be. We got the Lillingtons, Stella Sapiente, John's favorite Lillingtons record, versus Morning Glory War Songs. Like, why do you guys do these matchups to me? Because I love both of these records. All right, going forward, 15, we got one of my favorite records of all time. Yeah. Today's Empire is Tomorrow's Ashes by Papa Gandhi versus, oh man, Choco at the Pet Food Factory, one of John's favorite records. So that's a tough matchup. 16, we got No Use Making Friends. And then we have Strung Out. Yeah, I know. This is a good one. Transmission Alpha Delta. And then 17, we got, well, this one's not as dramatic because Lagwagon Hang is a very good record. And then we have Kick, which is fine.
Man, dude,
so,
that
we got some.
That episode is insane. when that comes. Oh my God. Well,
It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, episodes 7 and 8 stacked, absolutely stacked. I can't believe that today's Empires versus Smoko won. That's incredible. But yeah, guys, anything else you want to say before we get rolling here?
I'm not bullshitting. Comment down below. Message me on Discord, whatever you want to do. Free $1 CD.
Which one is it? Free or $1? But
I mean, it's worth $1 probably.
If you live in the continental U.S. for our
Yes.
international friend.
No Hawaiians, sorry.
All right, that's going to do it for this one. Like Dylan has referenced, make sure you join the Discord. It is bumping over there. I'm loving it. So if you have an idea for an episode, if you want to vote on these beforehand and have your vote possibly weigh against a coin flip or some other act of God, then you could do so in the Discord. And that's going to do it. Keep an eye out for episodes 7 and 8 and episodes 9 through 16. And we'll see you all next time.